Imagine reaching for what you think is a healthy snack, only to discover it might be working against your body's needs as you age. For millions of seniors, this simple choice between different types of nuts can make a meaningful difference in how they feel each day. Meet Patricia, a 64-year-old retired nurse who always prided herself on eating healthy. She'd been enjoying her daily bowl of mixed nuts for years, thinking she was doing her heart a favor. But when her annual blood work showed some concerning changes in her liver enzymes, her doctor suggested taking a closer look at her diet. What Patricia discovered about certain nuts in her mix surprised her, and changing her choices made a real difference in how she felt. Have you ever wondered why some snacks seem to energize you while others leave you feeling sluggish or uncomfortable? Welcome to your trusted home for senior health wisdom. If living healthier every day matters to you, hit that subscribe button. As we celebrate each year of life, our bodies undergo natural changes that affect how we process foods, including nuts. Our metabolism naturally slows down. Our digestive systems may become more sensitive, and our liver's ability to process certain compounds can change. According to research from Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health, these changes mean that food choices that worked well for us in our 40s and 50s may need adjustment as we enter our 60s and beyond. Think of your body like a well-loved home. It's still beautiful and functional, but it benefits from more thoughtful care and attention to what we bring into it. The same principle applies to nutrition. Our bodies may need different types of fuel and may be more sensitive to certain compounds that didn't affect us when we were younger. Nuts are particularly interesting because they're nutrient-dense powerhouses, packed with healthy fats, protein, vitamins, and minerals. But not all nuts affect our aging bodies in the same way. Some can support heart health, brain function, and bone strength, while others might contribute to inflammation, digestive discomfort, or other concerns that become more prominent with age. The good news is that with the right knowledge, you can make choices that support your body's changing needs and help you feel your best. Let's explore 4 types of nuts that may be worth limiting or avoiding as we age, and understand why our bodies might respond differently to them now. First, let's talk about peanuts. Here's something that might surprise you. Peanuts aren't actually nuts at all. They're legumes that grow underground. This growing environment makes them more susceptible to developing aflatoxins, which are natural compounds produced by certain molds. The American Liver Foundation notes that long-term exposure to these compounds, even in small amounts, can place additional stress on our liver's detoxification processes. Please note, Patricia's experience with liver enzyme changes involved multiple dietary factors, and individual responses can vary significantly. As we age, our liver's ability to process toxins naturally decreases, making us potentially more sensitive to these compounds. Additionally, peanuts are high in omega-6 fatty acids, which, when consumed in excess relative to omega-3s, may contribute to inflammation, something our bodies are already more prone to as we age. Next, let's discuss cashews. Cashews are undeniably delicious and creamy, but they contain about 8 to 9 grams of net carbohydrates per 1-ounce serving. For seniors who may be dealing with insulin resistance or blood sugar management concerns, this can contribute to unwanted spikes in blood glucose levels. Cashews also contain oxalates, naturally occurring compounds that can be problematic for people with kidney issues or a history of kidney stones. As our kidney function naturally declines slightly with age, some people may find they're more sensitive to high oxalate foods than they were when younger. Dorothy, a 73-year-old retired teacher, noticed that her afternoon cashew snacks seemed to coincide with energy crashes and increased thirst. When she switched to lower-carb alternatives, she found her energy levels became more stable throughout the day. Individual experiences like Dorothy's can vary, and multiple factors influence blood sugar and energy levels. The third concern is macadamia nuts. Macadamia nuts are incredibly rich and satisfying, but they're also extremely calorie-dense. Just 10 macadamia nuts contain approximately 200 calories, mostly from saturated fats. While our bodies do need some saturated fats, the concentration in macadamias can be challenging for seniors with slower metabolisms or those managing cholesterol levels. Additionally, the high fat content can be difficult for our gallbladder to process, especially as this organ often becomes less efficient with age. Some people may experience digestive discomfort after consuming high-fat foods like macadamias. Thomas Point, a 68-year-old retired accountant, loved macadamia nuts, but noticed they sometimes left him feeling uncomfortably full and sluggish. When he switched to smaller portions of less calorie-dense nuts, he found he could enjoy his snacks without the heaviness. Thomas's experience reflects individual digestive sensitivity, which varies greatly among people. Finally, let's consider pine nuts. Pine nuts, while delicious, present some unique challenges for seniors. Their small, smooth texture can pose a choking risk, particularly for those who may have dry mouth, a common side effect of many medications or swallowing difficulties. Pine nuts can also cause pine mouth syndrome, a condition where people experience a persistent metallic or bitter taste that can last for days or even weeks. While not dangerous, this can significantly impact enjoyment of food and overall quality of life. Additionally, pine nuts may interact with certain medications commonly prescribed to seniors, including some blood pressure medications and cholesterol-lowering drugs. If you're taking multiple medications, it's worth discussing with your healthcare provider whether pine nuts might interact with any of them. Have you noticed any of these effects from nuts in your diet? Comment learning something new below. We love hearing from our community. Now, let's explore 4 nuts that can be particularly beneficial for supporting healthy aging. First, let's talk about almonds. Almonds are nutritional powerhouses for seniors. A 1-ounce serving provides about 75 milligrams of calcium and a substantial amount of magnesium, 2 minerals that work together to support bone health and help prevent the arterial calcification that can contribute to heart disease. Almonds are also rich in vitamin E, a powerful antioxidant that supports immune function, skin health, and may help protect cognitive function. A 2020 study published in the journal Nutrients found that adequate vitamin E intake was associated with better mood stability and cognitive performance in older adults. The fiber in almonds can also help with digestive health and blood sugar stability. Choose raw almonds with the skin on when possible, as the skin contains additional flavonoids, natural compounds that support cellular health and may help slow the aging process. Next, let's discuss walnuts. Walnuts are unique among nuts because they're exceptionally high in alpha-linolenic acid, or ALA point, a plant-based omega-3 fatty acid. This type of omega-3 is particularly important for brain health, as it helps maintain the flexibility of brain cell membranes and supports the communication between brain cells. Research published in the Journal of Nutrition, Health, and Aging in 2022 found that seniors who regularly consumed walnuts showed better performance on memory tests and had improved focus compared to those who didn't include walnuts in their diet. The study followed participants for 2 years and found consistent benefits. As with all research, individual results may vary, and walnuts are just one part of an overall healthy lifestyle. Walnuts also contain natural melatonin, which can support healthy sleep patterns. something many seniors struggle with. The polyphenols in walnuts may also help reduce inflammation throughout the body. The third beneficial option is pistachios. Pistachios offer an impressive 285 milligrams of potassium per 1 ounce serving, which helps balance sodium in the body and supports healthy blood pressure. This is particularly important for seniors, as blood pressure tends to increase with age. These nuts are also relatively low in calories and high in fiber, making them a satisfying snack that won't dramatically impact blood sugar levels. The act of shelling pistachios can also naturally slow down consumption, helping with portion control. Choose unsalted in-shell pistachios when possible. The physical act of shelling them provides a natural portion control mechanism and can even provide a bit of hand exercise, which is beneficial for maintaining dexterity. Finally, let's talk about Brazil nuts. Brazil nuts are one of the richest dietary sources of selenium, a mineral that's essential for thyroid function and may support mood stability. Research published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition showed that older adults who maintained adequate selenium levels had better mood regulation and reduced anxiety. However, Brazil nuts are so rich in selenium that just 1 to 2 nuts per day can meet your entire daily requirement. This is actually a benefit because it means you can get significant nutritional value from a very small portion. It's important to note that too much selenium can be harmful, so limiting Brazil nuts to 1 or 2 per day is recommended. The selenium in Brazil nuts also supports the production of glutathione, one of the body's most important antioxidants, which helps protect cells from damage and supports healthy aging. Try incorporating one of these beneficial nuts into your routine tomorrow, and notice how you feel after a week of consistent consumption. Let me tell you about Eleanor, a 71-year-old retired librarian who came to our community feeling frustrated with her energy levels. She'd been snacking on cashews and peanuts most afternoons, thinking she was making healthy choices. But she often felt sluggish afterward and noticed her joints seemed more achy than usual. Eleanor's story is a composite of experiences shared by community members, and individual results can vary significantly. After learning about the nuts we've discussed today, Eleanor decided to make a simple change. She replaced her afternoon cashew snack with a small handful of walnuts and almonds. Within 3 weeks, she noticed her afternoon energy slumps were less dramatic, and her morning joint stiffness seemed to improve. "I never realized such a small change could make me feel so much better," Eleanor shared. "I wish I'd known this information sooner, but I'm grateful to have it now." Eleanor's experience reflects her individual response and may have been influenced by other lifestyle factors. You deserve to feel your best at every stage of life. Your body has carried you through decades of experiences, and it deserves the thoughtful care that comes with understanding how to nourish it well. Here's your challenge. Tonight, take a look at the nuts in your pantry. Choose one beneficial swap you can make this week. Maybe replace your evening peanut snack with a small handful of almonds, or try 1 Brazil nut with your morning vitamins. Ready to support your body's changing needs. Subscribe now so you never miss evidence-based information that can help you feel your best. Let me address some of the most asked questions about nuts and senior health. Can I still enjoy peanut butter occasionally? If you love peanut butter, you don't necessarily have to eliminate it completely. Consider choosing organic, natural peanut butter without added sugars or oils, and limit consumption to once or twice a week. You might also try rotating with almond butter or walnut butter to get different nutritional benefits. Always listen to your body and consult with your healthcare provider if you have concerns about liver health. How many Brazil nuts are actually safe to eat daily? 1 to 2 Brazil nuts per day is typically sufficient to meet your selenium needs. Eating more than 3 regularly could potentially lead to selenium toxicity, which can cause symptoms like nausea, hair loss, or nerve problems. If you're taking selenium supplements, you may want to avoid Brazil nuts altogether to prevent getting too much. When is the best time to eat nuts for optimal benefit? Mid-morning or mid-afternoon tends to work well for most people. This timing can help stabilize blood sugar between meals and provide sustained energy. Avoid eating large amounts of nuts close to bedtime, as the fat content might interfere with sleep for some people. Should I soak my almonds before eating them? Soaking almonds for 8 to 12 hours can reduce phytic acid content and may improve digestibility for some people. However, it's not necessary for everyone. Try both soaked and unsoaked almonds to see what feels better for your digestive system. Some people find soaked almonds easier to digest, while others notice no difference. Are there any interactions between nuts and common medications? Most nuts are generally safe with common medications, but there can be some interactions. For example, pine nuts may interact with certain blood pressure medications. If you're taking multiple medications, it's always wise to discuss any significant dietary changes with your healthcare provider or pharmacist. Now let me give you a practical summary of what we've covered. For nuts to limit or avoid, instead of peanuts, which have concerns with aflatoxins and inflammation, choose walnuts for their brain health benefits and omega-3s. Instead of cashews, which can cause blood sugar spikes and contain oxalates, choose pistachios for blood pressure support and natural portion control. Instead of macadamias, which are high in calories and can cause digestive stress, choose almonds for bone health, vitamin E, and heart support. And instead of pine nuts, which have choking risks and medication interactions, choose Brazil nuts for thyroid support and mood benefits, but limit to just 1 or 2 daily. For your suggested daily routine, try 8 to 10 almonds with your breakfast or morning vitamins. At lunch, sprinkle chopped walnuts on your salad or yogurt. For an evening snack, enjoy a small handful of unsalted pistachios. And as a bonus, have 1 Brazil nut with your daily supplements for selenium support. Remember, these are general suggestions. Your individual needs may vary based on your health conditions, medications, and personal preferences. Always consult with your healthcare provider before making significant dietary changes. Save this information and share it with someone you care about who might benefit from these insights. The research we've discussed today comes from Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health Nutrition and Aging Research, the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition Study on Selenium and Mood in Older Adults, the American Liver Foundation Research on Dietary Factors and Liver Health, the Journal of Nutrition, Health and Aging Study on Walnut Consumption and Cognitive Function, and the Nutrients Journal 2020 Study on Vitamin E and Cognitive Performance in Seniors. Now, before we wrap up, I want to remind you of something important. Everything we've shared today is for educational purposes to help you make informed choices about your health. The experiences shared by Patricia, Dorothy, Thomas, and Eleanor represent individual responses that may not apply to everyone. I always encourage you to work with your doctor or healthcare provider before making any significant changes to your diet, especially if you're managing chronic conditions or taking medications. They know your personal health history best and can guide you on what's right for your specific situation. Every person is unique, and what works wonderfully for some people might need adjustments for others. Your healthcare team is your best partner in this journey toward optimal health and wellness. The goal isn't perfection, it's progress and finding what helps you feel your best at this stage of life. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.